Good morning. Get started with this warm up here and we will go through it in just a minute. Pause the video so that you can complete the warm up. Okay, so they tell us that the measure of angle 1 is 79 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and write in 79. And I'm going to use my obtuse and acute trick. That should be acute. To go through and determine which angles are congruent. So I know that 4 must also be 79, 5 must be 79, and 8 must be 79. Angles 1 and 2 form a linear pair, so their sum is going to be 180. So angle 2 would be 101, angle 3 101, etc. So angle 2 is 101, angle 3 is 101, angle 6 is 101, and angle 7 is 101. In this next problem, we have to figure out the values of x and y. I'll start by solving for x. I have two expressions that have x in them, so I'm going to look at the relationship between those. These are alternate exterior angles, so they are congruent. So I'm going to set 8x plus 5 equal to 10x minus 27. I subtract 8x from both sides, and I get 5 is equal to 2x minus 27, add 27 to both sides, and I get 2x is equal to 32, which makes x 16. So I found the value of x, but now I need to find the value of y. In order to do that, I'm going to need to substitute 16 into this expression right here. 10 times 16 minus 27, 160 minus 27, and I'll get 133. I know that these two angles form a linear pair, so their sum will be 180 degrees. So I'm going to take 2y plus 9 plus 133, and that will be equal to 180. 2y plus 142 equals 180, because I combine like terms. 2y is equal to 38, so y is equal to 19. And this problem is now done. So your lesson for today is lesson 3, proving lines parallel. And we're going to talk about applying the angle relationships to prove that lines are parallel. If at any point throughout this video you need to pause in order to get all the notes down, that's not a problem. Remember that you should pause to get the notes down. Okay, so a quick review of naming angle relationships. Please pause this video here and make sure that you can determine your angle relationships. My corresponding angle pairs are A and E, B and F, C and G, D and H. My alternate interior angles are, the pairs are C and F and D and E. My consecutive or same side interiors are C and E and D and F. And the alternate exterior angles are angle A and angle H, angle B, and angle G. I'm going to go through and label obtuse, acute, obtuse, acute, obtuse, acute, obtuse, and acute. And I know that all of my obtuse angles are going to be congruent. All of my acute angles are going to be congruent, and an obtuse and an acute would be supplementary. So when I look at my corresponding angles, I'll see that all of my corresponding angles have the same letter, so those would be congruent. All of my alternate interior angles would also be congruent. My consecutive interior angles would be supplementary, and my alternate exterior angles would be congruent. So angle A and angle B, I know that they are going to be congruent, and that is because they are alternate exterior angles. If I go through and use my trick, obtuse, acute, obtuse, acute, obtuse, acute, obtuse, acute, I'll get that they are both obtuse. When I look at this problem, they would like to know what value of x would prove P to be parallel to Q. This means what forces these lines to be parallel. What value for x would force these lines to be parallel? So when I look at this x right here, I know it needs to be congruent to 52. So x would be 52. I knew that because these are alternate interior angles. Okay. And what value of x would prove B to be parallel to Q? Again, that would mean force P to be parallel to Q. So I'm going to look at these two. I can tell that their relationship is corresponding angles. And corresponding angles are congruent. So I'm going to take 2x plus 6 and set it equal to 40. I would get 2x is equal to 34, so x would be equal to 17. In this one, I have to figure out which value of x would prove m parallel to n. I can see that these are consecutive interior angles, otherwise known as same side interior angles, and those are supplementary. So I'm going to take 7x minus 7 plus 62 and set it equal to 180. I'll combine like terms. I'll subtract 54 from both sides. And I would divide by 7. Okay. On this one, I have alternate exterior angles. And I know that they are congruent, so I'm going to set these two expressions equal to each other. I'll solve this equation. And I've found the value of x that would prove these lines are parallel. In this, they talk about lines L and N. They tell me nothing about line M. So I'm going to go ahead and cross it out because it's not the transversal of those lines. I now see that I have 105 and 3x minus 18. I'm going to use vertical angles to move 105. Now I have 105 here and 3x minus 18 here. Those are consecutive or same side. Interior angles, which means that they are supplementary. So I'll set up the equation 105 plus 3x minus 18 equals 180. I simplify that to get 3x plus 87 is equal to 180. 3x would then be equal to 93 because I subtract 87 from both sides, and I get x is equal to 31. The next two examples that we're going to look at will be a little bit different. Here, they want me to determine a few more things. So let's start by looking at that they have given us A is parallel to C. So I'm going to fill in all of my angle pairs on both A and C. Okay. I can also use this over here. The value of x is going to be 105. But now they ask if B is parallel to C. Well, I'll fill in this group of angle pairs. and I'll see that these do not match up. So the answer here would be no. And they ask if D is parallel to E. So I'm going to compare this group with this group down here. And when I do, I see that they do not match. So the answer there is also no. Okay. I'm going to fill in all of the information that I can using vertical angles and linear pairs. That's it. I know nothing about this group of angle pairs over here or this group down here. That's because they do not tell me that A is parallel to B or C is parallel to D. In order for them to be parallel, this set of 4 has to match with this set of 4, or this set of 4, depending which line you're trying to prove parallel. I don't have that. I could also use this set of 4 and see if they are parallel or the same as that set of 4 and this set of 4, but again, I do not have this. So I don't know that any of these lines are parallel. All right, that's the end of your lesson. Go back and rewatch any parts that you're confused about, and if you're still confused, please put a star next to them and ask me next class.